Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Now, I had a different video planned for today, but it really wasn't shaping out. So I did want to take a moment and talk briefly about the Smash Brothers Direct that happened this morning. If you haven't caught it or haven't seen anything, I mean, it's been out for a couple of hours at this point. So the final character of DLC Pack 1 is Byleth from Fire Emblem Three Houses, the most recent game, which I think most of us could have expected that a character from the most recent Fire Emblem game was going to get some sort of representation, as we've gotten what seems to be at least one character ever since Smash Bros. Melee. Now, I'm not super crazy about having a lot of Fire Emblem representation in Smash, or a lot of additional Fire Emblem representation in Smash, but at the end of the day, I'm not bitter about it either. And to be completely honest, I would rather have seen a Fire Emblem character in this DLC pack than the next one, because I'm fairly confident that we're not going to see any sort of repeat representation from any genres that were portrayed in the first DLC Fighters pack in the second DLC Fighters pack that we end up getting, which we'll talk more about that in just a moment. Now, Byleth is probably going to be one of the DLC characters that melds a little bit better with the playstyle that I tend to go for. Just as a general rule, I find myself gravitating more towards the characters that move a bit slower, but have more power in their moveset. For example, I really enjoy playing Bowser, as evidenced by the footage that I've got going in the background here. As Bowser he's a heavy character. He does move decently fast for being a heavy, but his kill power is quite a bit higher. I haven't figured out a lot of the lighter or smaller characters that don't have as heavy hitting of a move set. So I'm excited to try him out, as I do have that Fighters Pass completely, as I saw it as being a pretty worthwhile investment with other projects that I wanted to be doing with the Fighters Pass as well. Now, in terms of the other things that came from this Direct, most of it was breaking down the movesets of the character, the series origin, and other stuff like that, which was nice to give a little bit of culture to those who haven't ever played a Fire Emblem game like myself. I do anticipate playing through Three Houses at some point, and maybe doing some sort of video series with that. Let me know if that is something that you're interested in seeing, or my first take on a Fire Emblem style game. But the other things that were announced were, we finally got more details about the Fighters Pack 2. So we have confirmation that we will be getting 6 additional fighters over the course of what's to be the next 2 years. All 6 fighters of DLC Pack 2 will be released by December 31st of 2021. Additionally, Sakurai did confirm that all 6 fighters have already been decided. So it's not really a work in progress. Well, it's a work in progress in terms of getting the movesets put together, I'm sure, but they're not looking for suggestions or scrounging around for ideas at this point. As a matter of fact, one thing that I did not touch on is Byleth was actually confirmed as of November of this past year. So they've known and had everything just about finalized for about 2 months, including the recording of the Direct that was released this morning. I'm excited to see what the future holds for those 6 fighter positions. I'm highly inclined to believe that now that we've seen a repeat representation from a series that already existed within Smash Brothers, I highly expect to see some more repeat characters in the next 6 fighters. And I might do some more speculation on those characters as we get closer, get some of them revealed, as there are some ideas that I think could be kind of interesting in terms of what repeat characters we could end up seeing. The other thing that it is important to note is with every one of these Directs, we do seem to have more of these Mii Fighter costumes that are being introduced. And there were a couple of really interesting ones, including Altair from the Assassin's Creed. Very interesting coupling with Ubisoft being on board or having a connection to Nintendo and Smash Brothers, which I can't say that I expected, but I'm not upset about either. I'm pretty sure that that does deconfirm fighters such as Altair as a playable character. I would even go as far to say that we probably should not come to expect anyone like Ezio or other characters from the Assassin's Creed line as actual playable characters, but at the same time I wouldn't really complain if that were to happen at some point either. We got a couple more Mega Man outfits, some Rabbids hats, and probably one of the more hype costumes being made available per this direct is the Cuphead and exclusive song, which is really cool that we now have a second representation. I don't think that Cuphead is a indie game per se, or at least from the little bit of research that I've been able to do, but they're certainly a smaller game series to be sure, that most people have enjoyed, and I think it's a better route for the character to be as a Mii Fighter costume, just because his moveset would probably be a little bit too much to deal with if it were being introduced as a full-on fighter. Though it would have been interesting to see how that fighter would have shaken down if he would have been included in his entirety. So those are kind of my thoughts and the resumed debrief of what was the Smash Brothers Direct, and I'm excited to see what comes out of this. So let me know what you think in the comments down below of Fighters Pass 1, your expectations for Fighters Pass 2. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We are just about to break over the cusp of 50 subscribers, which I'm super excited about. And we've got our next parody coming out on Monday, which I'm super excited to share with you. I've been working really hard on it with the assistance of some friends as well, and I think you're going to enjoy it, so make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss that when it comes out. Until then, thanks again for your support on all of my videos here, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day.